guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. So today I have another Porsche to play with, the very latest Cayenne S. This is the V8 diesel, huge amounts of power, huge amounts of torque. This thing sounds like a petrol engine. It's just unbelievable noise it makes. So let's take a good look around this car. We're going to basically have a good play with it on the road. 0 to 60 time, just a touch over 5 seconds, would you believe, in a massive 4x4. And then we're also going to take it off the road and get it dirty. Let's go and have a look.
This is the 4.2 litre V8 diesel Cayenne S, an SUV promising sports car performance, good fuel economy, and the traits you'd expect from a 4x4. Good off-road manners and great for towing. Optional wheels from the turbo cover huge stopping power from enormous discs and calipers. Adaptive cruise sensors hide behind the grille. This Audi-derived 4.2 litre V8 diesel has 385 bhp and produces a mind-blowing 850 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 60 happens in 5.3 seconds. The cabin is a very special place to sit, with Porsche DNA visible everywhere.
We've got it out on the road. Now, road conditions today are very wet, which is good. And I'm going to do my normal and step through some of the settings. There's quite a lot of different settings you can make on this car, both in terms of suspension, ride height, and also there's a Sport and Sport Plus mode for the kind of engine and gearbox. So at the moment, we're just in the kind of comfort setting for suspension. We're in normal driving mode. And initial impressions of this car are, it doesn't feel like a 4x4. The kind of handling and turning's really precise. It feels more like a saloon. And this engine, well, it doesn't sound like a diesel, that's for sure, and it doesn't feel like one either. I've not really pushed it at all yet, and it really has this kind of amazing amount of urgency. It's a super engine. So we're going to go up and find some nice twisty roads. I want to try the kind of different drive settings, and then we'll put the suspension through the test. We're going to go and find some green laning. So I think it's about time we hit the magic sport button. So we've now got, or straight away that feels better, and I'm just going to no, diesel shouldn't go like that. 4x4 shouldn't go like that. I'll be beeping that one out. Wow. It feels like a Boxster or a 911. A big 4x4 shouldn't feel like this. Now, I know I've driven the e-hybrid Cayenne, and I like the driving manners of that. What I didn't really like was it was quite a powerful car. I kind of didn't get the kind of e-hybrid part. This is just pure brute force. So coming up to a nice bend here, stonking brakes. Oh, get in, turn in. And the power out, my goodness me. Oh yeah. Oh, that turning's so precise. And there's power to spare there. Unbelievable. 815 Newton meters of torque this thing's got, and you can feel it. I mean, it's available almost everywhere. Really impressive. So I'm an impatient man. I think I'm going to need to press the Sport Plus button, and just to see what that feels like, because Sport is exceptionally cool. So Sport Plus, here we go. So the changes, the gear changes are much quicker. So we've got the 8-speed Tiptronic box in this, and I'm just driving it in auto. I'm not using the paddles at the moment, and the gear changes are really good. But you can push on in this car, blimey. Absolutely incredible turn of speed. So one of my questions on my Q&A last week was, do I prefer petrol or diesel engines? And my answer was I preferred petrol engines because they rev better and so on. Having said that, if you're driving a diesel like this, wow, it sounds amazing, but just the grunt it's got, absolutely. I mean, out of that corner, look at that. That is bonkers. You could lose your license in this thing. So by going into Sport Plus, it's actually done a number of things. So as you'd imagine, it's kind of, oh, look at that, get in there, turn in there. It's done a number of things. It's sharpened up the gear changes and the throttle response, but it's also adjusted the ride height of the car. So we've dropped the car's ride height, firmed up the suspension, and this thing's now feels really, really sporty. And the only way I can describe it is, even though I'm in a huge 4x4, it feels like I'm driving a little sports car. It's got amazing amounts of grip, amazing poise through the corners. It's this Porsche DNA. I don't know how they do it. You get from one Porsche to another and they just have this same feeling about them. It's phenomenal. And how you make such a massive car, you know, I think back to the old 4x4s of old, these big wallowy old ships that didn't go around corners and weren't very quick. Well, one, this goes around corners like a Porsche, and my God, is it quick. Okay, so we are going to try launch control, or it's called performance start. So I'm in Sport Plus. Apparently I have to put my foot hard on the brake, put it into drive, hard on the brake, flatten my foot on the throttle, and go. Flipping heck. 60. Wow. So this car has unbelievable performance, but the fuel economy is just amazing. So okay, today I'm averaging 17 miles to the gallon because I'm driving like a hooligan, but in the last 4,000 miles this car's averaged 31 mpg, which I just think is unbelievable. It's a big old tank, this, yeah, and it performs so brilliantly, yet it can still do over 30 miles to the gallon. Absolutely amazing. So I can stick it into manual flappy paddle gear shift mode, and actually the downshifts are really very crisp. And then if we just pretty fast, to be fair. So this hasn't got the PDK box, it's got the Tiptronic, and then you've got the flappy paddles behind. For me, I think I'd just drive it in normal drive and Sport Plus mode most of the time, but if you wanted to have that little bit more engagement, then you can go to the paddles, and they're very responsive. So when you're in full auto and Sport Plus, the gearbox does a really great job of holding the gears for you. So quite interesting, I'm just going downhill at the moment in a little bit of traffic, and it's kind of holding me in third, and then as I brake for this corner, I'm pretty sure it'll probably drop it down into second for me. So it's kind of in the right gear, and then you're there to pull out of the corner and just, oh, put some grins on your face, because this thing flies, man. The thing I love about this car though is you can take it out and have a real hoot and drive quite, you know, aggressively and quickly through some nice twisty bends, but it's so mega comfy. These seats are so comfy. It's got adaptive cruise control, so you can kind of, you know, sit on the auto route, drive down to the south of France, fill it up with loads and loads of vino and drive back again. and it would be a real pleasurable experience, I'm sure. Such an amazing way that these modern car designers can basically build a big 4x4 that has sports car feel and performance, and yet, you know, it's a massively practical car. The next thing we need to do, though, is to see what its off-road manners are like. So I'm quite lucky. I live basically backing onto a farm, and I've got the permission from the farmer to basically take the car up. Now, we're not going to be doing massively full-on off-roading. It's more like sort of muddy tracks and wet grass and those types of things, but it'll be interesting anyway, just to see what it's like when it gets a little bit slippy underfoot. So we're taking this baby off-road. Now at the moment we're just on a farm track. We've made some setting changes, so basically raised the air suspension to its maximum ride height. We have got some diff locks on here as well, which I'm not so sure we'll need, to be honest, but let's kind of have a step through and see what it's like. So yesterday I cleaned this car, and I think within about the next 5 minutes it's going to need another jet wash. So from a ride height, I mean, this car's now significantly higher than it was when we were on road in Sport Plus mode. It feels really kind of elevated. It's soaking up the bumps really nicely. I haven't really got to a point where I've lost any traction yet, because it's just a farm track, and I know I'm probably going to get some comments going, you weren't really off-road. Well, we'll do our best. And then, as I said, I think we've got, by the looks of it, we've got some diff locks and so on that you can, again, on this sort of central console. But yeah, so far, oh, there we go, a little bit of slip. This car's going to be so muddy. Oh, dear me. And you, by now, you'll have realised that just sat to my left is my mate who owns this car, and he's been ever so good letting me do this. So big thanks to him. I think he's just as intrigued as I am to see how good it is off-road. So we shall. Now we're starting to get a little bit more meaty. Back end's a bit twisty there. Yeah. Now we'll, as long as we don't get stuck. So yeah, I've now got an awful lot of wheel slip, which is really cool. And very cool. Yeah, no dramas there. Completely standard road tyres as well. So, and I also promised my mate the farmer that I wouldn't churn his road up either. So I'm going to try and make sure I don't go too full on. Pretty. Huh? It's pretty stuck actually. Is it? So we're currently kind of stuck because the road, the grass is so wet and knackered. This is the we are shitted, mate. We so nearly got stuck there, and I'm going to be in so much trouble with Dave, the farmer, because we went and I didn't think it would be that wet, and it really, really was. We very nearly didn't get out, but we got out, and this thing actually, I have to say, performed pretty well. It's got standard road tyres on it, so when it gets really, really muddy and claggy, it just didn't have the grip it needed. in times, but a little bit of 4x4 in. Yeah, this isn't a Chelsea tractor. It's a bit more dirty than it was as well, but I think we need to head home now for a cup of tea. I can stop panicking because I thought I was going to be stuck in there and asking for a tractor tow. Okay guys, so I am going to draw the video to a close here with the backdrop of Kingley Vale and the South Downs, my back garden pretty much. What an impressive car. I mean, the on-road manners of this car, so fast. That V8 diesel's phenomenal. And then we've taken it off-road a little bit more than I planned. I don't know what the wind noise is going to be like, so apologies for that. And we very nearly got stuck, and I'm probably going to be in trouble because I churned the field up massively, so massive apologies to Dave for that, sorry. But yeah, really great car. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have done so, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. And I'm going to leave you with a very muddy Porsche Cayenne. That's how 4x4 should be, I guess, full of mud. Very impressive. Anyway, you take care guys, drive safe.